Hello, beauty lovers. You guys already know. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, yeah. I know it's been long. You guys last saw me on camera. There's been a whole lot going on, and I want to use this opportunity to say I'm sorry for being so absent for a very long time. But you know what? I'm back, and we're gonna hit back to back. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys so many things that needs to be taught, things that you guys can find somewhere else. Ongoing, this channel is going to be about more about teaching. I'm going to be sharing a whole lot of tips. Yes. We'll also mix up some things like share some recipes with you guys, but I want to go more intense. I want to share with you guys so many things that you can find somewhere else. The truth, the naked truth. So we're gonna be doing a whole lot of stripping. Yes, we're gonna be doing a lot of stripping, cares. Some gospel truth needs to be preached. Yes, and it's now left for you as a person to choose your own path. Yeah, I said so. So quickly today, let's go right into today's video. We're going to be talking about tubes and their composition, how you can also use them to treat other skin issues, and also be clearing the air, because so many people believe that all tubes contain corticosteroids, and I want to denote that believe some tubes are actually meant to treat some skin issues. Well, some tubes also contain corticosteroids, and steroids can be bought over the counter, and you can also use steroids to treat some existing skin problems. So today, let's dive right into today's video. Today we'll be talking about tubes and compositions, and how you can use them. I'll teach you guys how to read through your tubes and to know what they can do on your skin. I have a bunch of tubes here, and I'll be talking about a few of them in a short time. So quickly, let's start with the number one on my list. I have a lot of tubes here, but I might not be able to talk about all about these tubes, and probably in my subsequent videos I'll share with you guys some tubes also, and how you can use them, you know, in your formulation. So quickly, let's start with number one on our list. It's called Clean Cap. Most of you are familiar with this tube. I've talked about it before on my channel, but let's go through it again. This one tube that does not have corticosteroid is a treatment tube. It's the major active ingredient in it here is clindamycin sulfate. So clindamycin is an antibiotics. It's actually a lincosamide antibiotics that helps to take care of Propianum bacterium. Propianum bacterium is that bacteria that is responsible for pimples to grow on the skin. So if you're looking to treat somebody who has that existing issue on the skin, you might want to incorporate this and some of the things. For some of you who do promixing, the truth remains that most of all those base creams that we use to premix, there are no true listing of ingredients, and some of them have some what I call that hidden signature, like hidden ingredients that they do not want another company to copy, you know, or produce something similar with their product. So some of them tend to hide some actives, and when such active come in contact with this tube, most especially, it gives a negative review. So if you're that part, if you're into promixing, this goes to promixers. If you're into promixing and you have incorporated this in your formula, and you have cases or feedbacks like your cream lightened me but I had tiny breakouts, just know that this could be the culprit, because this tube particularly has given so many bad reviews and good. I don't know why it's still in the market. If I have my way, I will eradicate it, because I've used it both in promixing and natural product, and the result is really not very excellent. It does work, but it works mainly on normal and combination skin, and for skin that has not tampered with their acid mantle. So if you're treating a skin that has ripped off a good benefit of the skin barrier, don't go with this. That such face needs to rejuvenate. In my subsequent video, I'll be telling you guys, I'll be discussing routine that every woman needs to practice. In fact, everybody out there needs to practice. So many of us don't have a good skin regimen, and it causes us to break out and suffer from other facial issues such as redness, pimples, sunburn. I will do a video that will help us to understand how we can stay clear of this and treat it, and stop it from reoccurring. So the next tube we're going to be talking today on is acne away. Some of you know this tube, acne away, and used majorly or mostly it's used by pro mixers out there. So quickly, let me walk you guys through the composition of this tube, because it's important that when you get a product, you try to read the label, you try to read the ingredient list. That way you understand what that tube does to your skin. You don't just mix up any tube because of the sake of mixing. You need to know what you're mixing. Okay guys, so this tube says it's an antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antipyretic, and anti-allergy. So this tube is designed to actually treat and prevent problem. So what does the composition say? It says it contains econazole, right? Econazole nitrate is an antifungal medication that could help to treat itching. If you're having a client that is having an itchy skin or itchy face, then you might want to consider using this mixture if you know what to mix exactly. So the next one says it contains trimesolonine. Trimesolonine, it's a class 4 steroid. Yeah, it's a kind of steroid, but it's under a class 4 steroid. And trimesolonine can treat face dryness, redness, and also itchy face. Now let me know what you guys think about. Do you actually know that steroids have classes? What do you think? What is the strength of a class 4 and a class 1 steroid? Which do you think it's more potent? Leave me a comment in my section. I would like to hear from you guys. It's not enough for you to just listen to, or just listen to YouTubers give out information. You also need to do your own little research. So let me know what you feel about a class 1 steroid to a class 4 steroid. Which is more potent? Because you get to see some tubes that say it contains 0.05%. You get to see some tubes that will tell you it contains 0.1%. So do more research and let me know what you feel about that. So quickly, let's go to the third ingredient here. It says it contains gentamicin sulfate. Yes, gentamicin, it's an antibacterial. It's an antibacterial property here that can help to treat skin infections such as eczema. We see some people also suffer post psoriasis. Gentamicin can help to treat that. So this is a very lovely tube to use if you know what and what to mix with it for pro mixers. I mean, if you're into natural and organic skincare, I don't think you need all of this, because this is actually I will call it clinical formations. Tubes are clinical formations, right? And you're not a pharmacist, we're all skincare therapists, right? So we only have just general knowledge about this. So when you see skincare therapists mix tubes in their cream, especially those that know what they're doing, just be the fact that they have a general knowledge about all this. You having a general knowledge of biology or chemistry or physics does not make you a qualified doctor, doesn't make you a qualified pharmacist, but you just have a general knowledge about some things, and that's why you see them mix some things and it just works, especially when you've practiced over time. I'm talking about pro-mixing that right now. So if you're going to natural and organic skincare, you know exactly how to make safe, effective and stable products. Okay, that's a topic for another day. So quickly, let's talk about another tube. Here we have this tube here called Philobact. For some reason I call it Philobact, I don't know. The first day I started this tube, the pronunciation just came out Philobacter, but it's actually Philobact tube. This tube also says it contains antifungi, antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. So quickly, let's what you want to do when you get a tube is to go to recomposition. It's important you do that, so that way you can know exactly what, and read. You have to make your own little research. So here it says it contains clorimazole. Clorimazole is an antifungal property that can also treat pityriasis and ringworm. Yes, and also some tiny rashes. Like if you see number one ingredient you find in diaper rashes for kids, it's clotrimazole. It's always in it because it treats all these fungi infections. It treats all these tiny rashes, you know, like diaper rashes. And so that's that. And yeah, it says it contains also beta-metazole dipropionate. Beta-metazole dipropionate is also a corticosteroid, which shouldn't be also used for a very long time. You know, it's also a class of steroid. You guys need to really read it. Maybe I should do a video on classes of steroids and also the threat and their potency, right? A class 1 steroid and a class 2, 3, 4 steroid have different potencies, right? So you should also know that. And this also says it contains neomycin. Neomycin sulfate is an antibiotics. Okay, antibiotics are supposed to help to reduce the spread of bacteria on the face. It will freeze it and also help to kill it. So that's what antibiotics do. So neomycin here is an antibacterial. Antibacterials are treated with antibiotics. Okay, so that's what this tube contains, right? So it's important for you to read throughout the composition of your tubes to know what it has in it and how you can also use it. Another cream you can substitute for these is, if you find this in your, these are for pro mixers who pro-mix their cream. So if you're looking for another cream or another thing to substitute Philobact for, you can go for Perfect Face Cream. Perfect Face Cream, I don't have it here, I will have shown you guys, but I'll try and put a picture on the screen for you guys to know. They have almost the same composition, so either you can't be found using that and this together. So either you go for that or you go for it, depending on the consistency that you want to work with. Okay, this is more creamy form, the other one is more in a lotion like form, so you can decide to use either one. They have the same composition. So the next tube we're going to be talking about today is, we're going to be talking about Neoticon. Some of you are familiar with this. This is also a very nice tube to work with. So let me walk you guys through what it has. And now, so far, all these tubes that I've mentioned, it's only one out of all of them that doesn't have a corticosteroid in it. Every other one has steroids, right? Except Clean Cap. So Clean Cap is one of those tubes that do not have steroids, but I must say the review let's leave that way. So the next on our list here is Neoticon. Neoticon, It's said to also be an antifungal, antibacterial based on what it contains. And this also contains clobetasol propionate. It said it's there. Clobetasol propionate, neomycin, sulfate, and nystatin. Clobetasol now it's a steroid that treats an existing problem. So many people mistake clobetasol to be an anti-treatment. It's not an anti-treatment. It's not an anti-treatment prescription. It actually treats an existing problem. If you're putting a cream that has clobetasol, some people say, can I use this? Okay, now I get people who mistake this tube to be an antifungal or an anti-inflammation tube or antibacterial tube. This is not an anti-nothing. This is a steroid-based cream. Quickly, let's walk through neoticon and we'll come to halodan. So neomycin, like I said, is an antibiotic. What antibiotics does is to treat bacteria, help to freeze and also treat it at the same time. Here it says it contains nystatin. Nystatin is an antifungal medication that can help to also relieve inflammation and treat itching. Nystatin is also very good when combined with triamcinolone to treat a skin problem. Yes, it's a very good combo to work with. So if you have a tube that has triamcinolone and nystatin, it's actually a very good tube to work with. Yes, so practicing and reading and research will give you all of this. If you just sit and wait for somebody to feed you with something, you've just been limited to that information. If you don't go out of your own comfort zone to make some research. So that's that about this. So we'll go back to this tube called halodan. So some people believe that this is an antifungal cream. It is not. It's a steroid, pure steroid cream, pure steroids, pure steroids. Don't mistake this to be an anti-inflammation or antibacterial rubbish. It's not. It's a steroid cream. If you go through the composition here, it says it has clobetasol propionate at 0.05%, right? And it says here it has propylene glycol. What does propylene glycol do apart from it being a penetrant? So if you don't know the functions of propylene glycol, go and make research and drop me a comment in my section box. Okay, it says it contains titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide helps to give it some kind of a whitish color because it's titanium dioxide are used in enhancing a formula to keep the color to be stable. I don't have this cream here. I will have shown you. It's very whitish in color. That's what titanium dioxide does. And it has tretinoamine and purified water. Tretinoamine here, I believe it's is the balancer. It's what they're using, balancing this formula. And here it has carbomer, which is the thickener. Now when you're working with a tube that has carbomer, you need to be very careful when you're incorporating it to things that have hydroxy acid, AHAs and BHAs. It could actually liquidate it, and you have some mixtures where people come to tell you my mixture turned watery. If your cream has carbomer, there's some creams that they have thickeners that they're thickening agents in it. It's carbomer, and when you use such products and you're not you don't have a pre-knowledge about making your thing from the scratch, or having a product or having knowledge about natural organic skincare, or knowing how to make things, or knowing different types of thickeners or solubilizers, you may just fall victim of having to produce as a pro mixer. Now I'm talking about people who pro mix their creams. If you don't know all this, you just find out that you mix up your cream and it turns watery. You might probably have used a thickener that does not co-work with AHAs or BHAs. Okay, so that's how much you can take today. In my next video, I'll be talking about pigmentations, how you can clear your face redness, and how you can also prevent your redness from coming back. And that's going to be an intensive topic. We're going to be talking about routine, and in that video, that routine will cover all about this. So you want to, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, you want to do that because you don't want to miss out on that episode. It's going to be really hard. So on that note, I'll be drawing this video to conclusion. I want you guys to keep yourself hydrated, drink a lot of water, and eat healthy, because you know our lifestyle affects also our skin. Yes, and that's another topic for Sunday where I'll be talking about holistic skincare. So until I come your way next time, keep that glow pumping, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay blessed.